When people think of Stardew Valley, they usually imagine a picturesque little pelican town, enchanting characters to bond with, and above all, just a perfect cozy way to escape from the horrors of the real world. But the game is not what meets the eye, like, at all. So today, I'm gonna teach you about the real Stardew Valley. We've got human sacrifices, murder, exorcisms, Geneva Conventions violations, and so much more. This will probably be a roller coaster of emotions, but I am not easing you in at all, so let's begin with sacrificing your own children. Okay, we all know the children in Stardew are weird. And no, I'm not talking about Vincent, Jazz, or Leo because they are perfect. No, I'm talking about your own flesh and blood. But if you haven't had the pleasure of having your own child in Stardew yet, they pretty much serve the same role as the pets you get from Marnie's for your farm. Except they don't bring you anything, so like, what's the point? Anyway, they start off as cute little pixel babies, and then they become toddlers, and no, that's it really. No matter how many years you play the game for, they never grow up, never saying a single word, just staring and moving around all weird like. So if you regret your children, don't worry, because Stardew actually has a really simple solution for it. Sacrifice. Woo! Simply head over to the witch's hut where you will find 3 shrines. The dark shrine of memory, the dark shrine of selfishness, and the dark shrine of night terrors. But today we're focusing on the dark shrine of selfishness, because for the small price of just 1 prismatic shard, you can dismiss one of your children. The child in question will then turn into a dove and quite literally fly out of your life. And it seems as though they fly out of literally everyone else's memories too, because everyone in town will simply just stop acknowledging the fact that they even existed, including your own spouse, the child's other and assumedly more active parent. But don't worry, because your kids still remember you. If you have a phone in your house and have sacrificed more than 1 child, there is a chance you can get a mystery call, and this is what it says. You place the receiver to your ear and are met with a roiling, abrasive static. But wait, beneath it all, you can make out something else, an otherworldly voice. You have forsaken us. So yeah, that's pretty fun. And dismissing your kids unlocks another fun Easter egg too. If you check your TV on fall 26th, the day before Spirit's Eve, you will see an unfamiliar channel simply named 3 question marks. And watching this channel will cause an ancient doll to pop up on your screen with the text, "You've brought this upon yourself. Now I am free." Sorry, I didn't know the vibe of the laugh. The doll will then jump out of the screen at you and into your inventory, but this isn't the last time you'll see it. Because every time you enter the witch's hut from now on, 1 ancient doll will appear for every child you've sacrificed and turn and attack the farmer. You can technically kill the dolls and turn them into large black birds that fly away, but they will respawn every time you re-enter the hut. They can even haunt you on your own farm by appearing as doves if you have any bird boxes. Yeah, these kids are never letting you forget. Mr. Key can kill you at the summit. Some of the Stardew NPCs can say some pretty cruel things to you, especially before you get to know them properly. But at the end of the day, none of them can actually harm the farmer, right? Wrong. This is Mr. Key. And other than being one of the most mysterious figures in the game, he also has the ability to insta-kill you by pushing you off a cliff. Let me explain. In order to experience this fall from grace, you'll need to enter an area of the map called the Summit. The Summit is usually blocked off from the rest of Pelican Town, and for good reason. The area acts as a form of reward to the player for reaching perfection in-game. And to get perfection, you will need to complete a bunch of very specific and very grueling tasks, like finding all 130 Ginger Island walnuts, crafting at least 1 of every item in-game, spending 10 million gold on a clock, and so much more. It kinda sucks the soul out of you. Anyway, once you've jumped through all these hoops, you meet your spouse at the summit and relive these beautiful memories in the valley together. And it's a truly beautiful cutscene. I mean, I teared up a little the first time I saw it. It's just pretty sacred. But if you cheat your way to the summit before reaching perfection, Mr. Chi will know, because Mr. Chi always knows. So once you cheat your way to the summit, Mr. Chi will be there in place of your spouse. And as the sky glitches out behind you and random sound effects begin to play in the background, he will say, "Well, well, well, look who made it to the summit. Thought you were really clever, didn't you? How can I cheat the system for my own benefit, you thought? Or in layman's terms, me. Despicable. Finally, he rushes at you for a split second before everything cuts to black and the death sound effect plays. And the next thing you know, Dr. Harvey is waking you up, just like any other time you die in the game. Except I'm not sure what miracles Dr. Harvey is working, because that was straight up just like attempted murder. You fell off a cliff. The slimes in the game can bully you. Okay, let's go from death to something a little more wholesome, kinda. We're all familiar with slimes. They're one of the first enemies you'll ever encounter in the game, and no matter how far through your playthrough you are, they will always be there to inconvenience you. But this isn't the case for literally any other person in the valley. How do we know this? Well, first you'll need a slime incubator and a slime egg. Putting an egg in an incubator allows a little slime to hatch in an environment other than the mines. And if you pop some of these little guys down in Pelican Town, they'll honestly start behaving like upstanding citizens. They won't attack any of the NPCs and instead show up to greet them. Some of the villagers even have nicknames for the little guys. So hey, now you can make your own little slime friends around town, right? Wrong. Because they will still attack you, even though you are the one that brought them this peaceful little life in the valley. The only way to avoid their attacks is with a slime charmer ring, but even then, they will still jump at you and try to kill you. The worst part though, the slimes can talk to you, they just choose not to. Like, I'd really love a hello every now and then, but the only way they will talk to the farmer is telling them off for rummaging through the trash, which is just entirely unnecessary in my opinion. Lewis's shorts can murder you. Yeah, they can kill you. Even without the murderous aspect, Lewis's purple shorts are a really weird part of the game. You can throw them in the luau to make the governor sick, enter them in the fair to immediately disqualify yourself and get a bribe of 750 star tokens from Lewis, or even use them as a fishing bobber. So yeah, that's surprisingly useful. And you might even want a couple more pairs. And whether that's for practical or personal reasons, I'm only judging you a little bit. Anyway, to do this, all you'll need is 2 hearts with Lewis and a staircase. Pop that staircase down in his bedroom and congratulations! Now you have access to an old man's basement. This is no normal basement though, because in the bottom corner of this room, there will be a glowing pair of purple shorts, and also a massive maze of barrels to navigate through for some reason. Interesting interior design choices. Anyway, after exploring the basement and grabbing this second pair of shorts, something shifts in the valley. An entity notices that you now possess multiple pairs of shorts and will do anything to stop you. And this entity is none other than, yeah, it's another pair of purple shorts, who guessed. This is more than a silly gag though, because these shorts are a genuine threat. They fly at and attack the player, but cannot be hit themselves. So essentially, the farmer is now stuck in a time trial. Escape the basement or death by shorts. We fucking died. The good news is though that you can do this an unlimited number of times, so if that's really what you want to wake up and dedicate your day to, you can get as many shorts as your heart desires. You can free an unidentified monster into the valley. Yep, you can release this mystery fleshy thing onto your farm and let it haunt Pelican Town. So this is the strange capsule. It's a pretty rare item to get, considering it only has a 0.8 chance of spawning on 1 of 50 random tiles that are checked every night after year 1. And these tiles have to be completely clear. No crops, no weeds, nothing. If you do manage to get the capsule to spawn, you will hear this sound during the night. And when you wake up, you will find the capsule somewhere on your farm. When you eventually find it and pick it up, you will realize that the description only reads, "There is something fleshy bobbing around in the fluid." A lot of players will think it's a neat item and pop it down as some decoration. Yeah, that's a mistake though, because after 3 days, when you go back and look at it, your strange capsule is now an empty capsule. And now you have the chance to trigger an even rarer event. Because once you've set your new friend free into Pelican Town, you might be able to catch a tiny glimpse of them every now and then. It is super hard to spot, partially because they only appear after dark, but in 3 very specific places of the map, the bus stop and 2 spots in the bottom left corner of town, there is a 1% chance of catching a glimpse of your friend saying hello. Because this specific event is so rare and takes so many variables to trigger, all of the clips I could find of this guy genuinely look like found footage. I'm so serious, that's the best I could do. You can perform exorcisms on cursed items. This one is a doozy. Everyone knows about your run-of-the-mill mannequins in Stardew. You buy them at the Oasis and use them to display your clothes. But of course, for whatever reason, Concerned Ape decided they need a sick and twisted evil version. Yeah, this is the Cursed Mannequin, an incredibly rare drop that you can find from the haunted skulls in the quarry mines. mannequins. And yeah, they look pretty much the same as a regular mannequin, just like a bluer version, but they could not be more different. Because these cursed mannequins have the ability to turn your cute little Stardew save into a FNAF-type horror game. Here's some stuff they can do while you sleep. Swap the clothes it's wearing with the ones the farmer's wearing. Or redecorate by changing the flooring or wallpaper in the room. Or the classic, appearing in an entirely different spot from the one you left them in when you went to bed. And of course, after any of these events, the mannequin will be violently shaking for a little while after you wake up, or open its very human eyes to stare at you for a second. If you decide to mess with it though, it can genuinely jump scare you. If for some reason you decide to repeatedly spin the mannequin round and round and round and round, there is a tiny chance that it will jump out of the screen with a frankly horrifying face. And I cannot tell you how loud I actually screamed during recording that segment. Oh my god, it like lures you into a false sense of security that nothing's gonna happen because it's that rare. Because we don't- Oh my god, did you see it? Oh, but we haven't talked about the exorcism yet. Let's quickly touch on Yoba and the broader religion of Pelican Town. Yoba is a deity treated like a god amongst some of the townsfolk, with phrases such as "oh my god" or "thank god" being changed to "oh my Yoba" and so on. This symbol, the sign of the vessel, is seen throughout town, and it is tied to Yoba worship. The most obvious area of worship is the shrine in Pierre and Caroline's place, and this is where we bring back the mannequin again. You see, if you take your fun little cursed mannequin on a field trip to this shrine and leave it there overnight, come morning it will have reformed itself into a regular mannequin again. And I have no idea what happened to the evil spirit inhabiting it or where it is, but that's just not my problem anymore. The game has violated the Geneva Conventions. So yeah, your cozy game has exorcisms. So what? Well, yeah, it also has that Geneva Conventions violation. And every day it gets harder being a Harvey defender because of course it came from this man in particular. This is the clinic we're all familiar with, but before version 1.3.32, it actually looked like this, with a big red cross instead of its current blue one. And that is because under the Geneva Conventions, the red cross symbol is copyrighted, and its use is strictly prohibited unless explicitly approved by the International Red Cross Society. So now, as well as having the reputation for charging the player after they die in the mines, Harvey will also be remembered as a war criminal. Still my favorite bachelor though, he could do no wrong. Anyway, this all led to some pretty entertaining patch notes for the aforementioned 1.3.32 update. Because amongst the run-of-the-mill bug and crash fixes, Concerned Ape now proudly states that he fixed a Geneva Conventions violation. We all share Grandpa, and it's weird. One of the most wholesome aspects of Stardew is the whole Grandpa storyline. It's your first introduction to the game, let's not talk about his bed though, and he seems to have had a profound impact on a bunch of NPCs residing in the valley. With him being such a large part of the game, the story doesn't even make sense without your close connection. Which is lovely, until we consider multiplayer farms. Going down the co-op route means that you can run your farm with up to 8 players, all sharing the same storyline and the same grandpa. And while multiplayer might have little inconveniences like time not pausing when you're eating in the mines or when you're fishing, the most troubling is definitely the implied incest. Yeah, you can marry your fellow farmhands. You know, grandpas are the grandkids. And yes, there's an assumption that only the farmer who actually hosts the co-op world is grandpa's singular legitimate grandchild, but there is proof that that simply isn't the case. Throughout your first 2 years in the valley, the player works as hard as they can to spruce up their farm in order to please grandpa's spirit on evaluation day, the first day of spring in year 3. And when that day does come, grandpa will materialize, speaking to the player and congratulating them. The thing is though, in co-op mode, this exact same series of events still plays out, meaning grandpa will show up, speak to all 8 players individually, referring to each one as his grandchild before evaluating them all separately. So now that we've covered that, I'm about to make it so much worse. Because we haven't covered the fact that you can not only marry, but also have kids with your fellow farmhands. And by farmhands, I mean your siblings, or hopefully at least cousins. Anyway, that might explain why your children themselves are so creepy. Maybe the true reason those kids never grow up is attributed to the horrific genetic conditions they've inherited. Alternatively, maybe these are 8 separate identical grandpas that all live together on the farm in a gay polycule commune. In which case, good for them. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope I have irreparably tainted your view of Stardew for life. I make shorts on facts like these all the time, but I've actually never made a longer video diving into them. Please let me know if you've enjoyed it and maybe even subscribe. And I'll hopefully see you in the next one. I am so sorry.